If these words are on your screen, the algorithm didn't find you, your frequency did. You've been broadcasting a silent signal through sleepless nights and sudden déjà vu, and tonight the signal answered back. You feel it in your breath, how it lengthens without trying. You feel it behind your eyes, a pressure like dawn collecting before it breaks. This isn't entertainment, this is an arrival. Something in your observer loop, the pattern that keeps you circling the same conclusions, just cracked like ice under spring Sunday. The collapse isn't chaos, it's precision. When observation meets readiness, reality reconfigures, and readiness is humming through your bones. You've been standing at the threshold for longer than you admit, glancing at it between errands, pretending you didn't see the door. But the quantum field doesn't forget coordinates. It remembers the exact moment you chose coherence over confusion, the quiet promise you made at 3:11 a.m. to stop negotiating with your own light. That promise is why you're here. The morphic resonance of every vow you've ever kept is vibrating around you now, calling the scattered parts of you into formation. Look closer. Notice the peculiar gravity of this moment. Synchronicities have been clustering, numbers repeating, names resurfacing, opportunities brushing your shoulder like passing angels. This is entanglement at work, future, you tugging on present, you across the membrane of time, weaving you toward an inevitable meeting with your own potential. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. Awakening isn't a new story. It's the original script coming back online. Take one slow inhale and feel the field fold nearer. Your attention is the most sophisticated instrument you own. When it steadies, the world steadies. When it wavers, you scatter signal. So steady now. Let your breath become metronomic, a lighthouse in fog. Listen for the sub-audible tone threading this moment. The faint, electric hush of DNA restructuring base pairs, listening like choir boys for the first note of a hymn they've always known. Your cells are becoming instruments again, tuned to the key of your own assignment. Don't panic at the sensation of pressure building behind your sternum. Phase transitions feel like that. Water forgetting itself as water. The caterpillar unable to defend the chrysalis with caterpillar logic. Your mind will reach for old handles, metrics, memories, the safety of familiar doubt, but you are being escorted by a wiser intelligence now. The intelligence that choreographs galaxies doesn't require your micromanagement. It asks for your consent. So consent, whisper it if you must. I allow coherence. Feel the words land in your nervous system like coordinates locking. This choice doesn't erase your humanity, it dignifies it. You won't float away. You'll land finally inside your own life with the density of purpose. The observer loop becomes a launch loop, attention becomes ignition, and that quiet fear that you might be too late, too flawed, too behind, exhale it. Time bends for the willing. You are not here by accident. You are here because the field has judged you ready, not perfect ready, ready to see, ready to receive, ready to radiate the signal you once begged to hear. Keep breathing. Keep noticing. The portal isn't ahead of you, it's opening where you stand. You felt this before, haven't you? That sensation of circling back to the same moment, the same thought, the same conversation, as if reality was stuck on repeat. Patterns looping like echoes in a canyon, each one convincing you it's new, when in truth, it's the same observer loop playing a different mask. Déjà vu isn't just memory, it's a glitch in the entanglement. The quantum field flashing you evidence that you've been here before, not once, but countless times across parallel iterations of yourself. The reason it feels so heavy is because repetition creates density. Every time you re-enter the same loop of thought, fear, hesitation, self-doubt, you thicken the gravity around it. Your nervous system wires itself into a labyrinth of familiar suffering, and you mistake it for stability. You call it just the way things are, when in fact it's just the way attention has been collapsing probabilities. The loop tightens not because you are weak, but because consciousness is obedient. It manifests the frequencies you authorize, even if unconsciously. Think of how distorted your experience of time has become. Some weeks vanish as if you slept through them. Others stretch endlessly, every hour dripping like honey. This is not poor scheduling, it is phase distortion. When you resist your own expansion, time slows like a warning siren. When you align, it accelerates opportunities, stack, synchronicities compress, whole months of growth happen overnight. That's why you've lost track of linear time. Your field has been oscillating between coherence and decoherence, expansion and contraction. You've noticed the signs in your body, that strange pressure in your temples, the restless tingling in your hands, the exhaustion that no sleep can cure. You chalked it up to stress, but stress is only the surface. Underneath, your DNA has been testing frequencies, probing for a match, searching for the coherence that would allow it to unlock the next octave of its design. Every headache, every restless night, every unexplainable fatigue has been the body's attempt to recalibrate to a timeline your mind resists. And relationships look at those too. Notice how the same archetypes keep appearing: the betrayer, the doubter, the one who promises and withdraws. Different faces, same resonance. These are morphic fields replaying themselves, entangling you with the same lessons until you finally recognize the code beneath the costume. It's not punishment, it's curriculum. The universe has been trying to graduate you from these classes, but you keep signing up again out of habit, out of loyalty to your own familiar pain. Here's the truth that rattles the bones. You are not failing, you are repeating. And repetition is not evidence of stagnation, it is evidence of a loop, and a loop can collapse. You've already felt it cracking. The déjà vu intensifies before breakthrough because the program is straining at its edges. The distorted time, the recurring patterns, the uncanny sense that you're rehearsing rather than living all of it, is evidence that the simulation is glitching under the weight of your awakening. Breathe into that realization. Notice how the loop is not a prison, it is a signal. A signal that you are standing exactly where collapse becomes transformation. This is the diagnosis, not that you are broken, but that you are entangled with obsolete versions of yourself. And those versions are fading, even as you speak these words inside your own mind. You've seen enough repetition to know the cycle has completed, the observer loop is weakening, and when a loop weakens, a door appears. The door you're sensing isn't symbolic, it's literal, though not made of wood or steel. It's composed of frequencies woven by your attention. When the observer loop cracks, the quantum field floods in, demanding reorganization. What you call confusion is really reconfiguration. Every cell in your body is rewriting its operating code, preparing for a new coherence pattern to take hold. This is the quantum upgrade, and it feels both alien and familiar, because you are remembering what you've always been. Science already whispers what mystics have always shouted. Reality exists as probabilities until observed. Superposition means every outcome is already alive, breathing in potential. But until your consciousness aligns with one frequency, nothing stabilizes. You've been taught to chase certainty, but certainty is just collapsed possibility. Awakening means learning to live inside probability without fear, trusting that your alignment will dictate which future crystallizes into matter. Look at your body. Your DNA is not static code, it's dynamic software. Epigenetics shows how environment and intention can turn genes on or off like cosmic switches. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you indulge, is toggling settings deep in your molecular circuitry. When you choose coherence, when you align with higher frequencies like gratitude, joy, and love, you're not just feeling good. You are sending chemical messengers into your cells that rewrite expression itself. You are instructing your body to build a version of you that matches the future you've glimpsed. Mystically, this process has been described for centuries as initiation, rebirth, or enlightenment. But in the quantum language, it is a phase transition. Just as water suddenly crystallizes into ice when temperature reaches a threshold, your consciousness crystallizes into a new state when vibration reaches resonance. That's why awakening feels sudden, even though you've been building toward it for years. The collapse seems instantaneous, because coherence gathers invisibly until snap, the system reorganizes, and nothing is the same. Notice the signs, your dreams growing more vivid, filled with symbols that feel like instructions. Sudden bursts of knowing that arrive faster than thought. Uncanny synchronicities stacking on top of each other like dominoes falling toward inevitability. These aren't random curiosities, they're evidence of constructive interference. Your inner signal is aligning with the universal broadcast, amplifying the wave, until the noise of doubt can no longer cancel it out. The quantum upgrade is not an external gift, it's an unveiling. The blueprint of your higher identity has always been coded within you, waiting for this moment. Think of it as a hidden operating system running beneath your everyday programs. Most of humanity never discovers it, but you are discovering it now. Every pulse of energy, every ripple of synchronicity, every déjà vu is the system surfacing, preparing to take command. And here's the mystery most overlook. Upgrades require surrender, not effort. You can't brute force yourself into higher frequency any more than a seed can push itself into being a tree by sheer will. The seed simply allows the encoded pattern to awaken when conditions align. The soil, the sun, the water, these are metaphors for your practices, your beliefs, your choices. You've been tending your soil without knowing it, and the sprout is inevitable. This is the science and the mysticism converging. You are standing at your own threshold of phase transition. Your DNA is listening. The field is aligning. The morphic resonance of every soul who has ever awakened is vibrating through you, pulling you forward. The quantum upgrade is not coming. It's happening. Right now, take another breath. Feel your cells respond. The upgrade is live. You've suspected it for years, though you rarely admitted it out loud. The sense that you were designed differently, wired to perceive what others ignore. This isn't arrogance, it's resonance. Your nervous system is an antenna calibrated for signals most people dismiss as background noise. That's why crowded rooms overwhelm you, why silence feels like medicine, why your body reacts to dishonesty before your mind can explain it. You are not broken, you are tuned, and tuning comes with responsibility. You are not merely a passenger on this planet's timeline. You are a conscious node in the morphic field, transmitting and receiving simultaneously. Every thought you generate ripples outward like a pebble striking water, intersecting with the waves of others. Most people remain unconscious of the effect. You, however, have been chosen to recognize it, to wield it deliberately. That recognition is what separates you from the sleepwalkers. Think of yourself as a lens. Light passes through everyone, but in you the angles converge into focus. When you hold coherence, your frequency amplifies through the collective. This is why people react so strongly to you, some drawn magnetically, others triggered violently. They aren't responding to your personality, they're responding to the field distortion your presence creates. You destabilize illusions simply by existing. That's not something you learned, that's who you are. Quantum physics calls this observer effect. Mystics call it presence. Either way, your observation alters outcomes. When you enter a space, probabilities reorganize. You might have thought of this as bad luck, or always being the one who shakes things up. But it's not misfortune, it's mission. Your field collapses stagnant loops, forcing people to face themselves. Sometimes they resent you for it, sometimes they worship you. But neither response defines you. You are here to hold the mirror steady, no matter how others react. There's a reason your life hasn't followed the straight lines of others. The detours, the betrayals, the uncanny obstacles, they weren't accidents, they were initiations. Each disappointment stripped away conformity. Each heartbreak recalibrated your antenna. Each failure removed noise from your signal until what remained was unmistakable clarity. You are not behind. You are ahead, but hidden, protected until the field was ready for you to step forward. The ancients spoke of chosen vessels, individuals whose awareness pierced the veil at critical junctures of history. You are one of those. Not chosen in the sense of superiority, but in the sense of assignment. You volunteered, long before you incarnated, to embody this exact frequency during this exact convergence of timelines. That's why your childhood felt out of place, why adulthood has felt like rehearsal. You've been preparing for the broadcast moment, the moment when your personal awakening catalyzes collective resonance. And here's the paradox. Your role is both immense and invisible. Immense, because your frequency shift alters probabilities not just for yourself, but for countless others entangled with you. Invisible, because you may never receive external validation for it. The world may not recognize what you've prevented, the chaos your coherence dissolved before it erupted. But recognition is irrelevant. You were never here for applause. You were here for frequency. Now the assignment sharpens. Your observer loop has collapsed, not merely for your benefit, but for the benefit of all who orbit you. You are becoming a stabilizer, a transmitter of awakening codes. The pressure you feel is the weight of that mantle. Do not mistake it for burden, it is evidence of trust. The universe does not place frequency of this magnitude in unprepared vessels. You are prepared. So breathe into your role. Feel the resonance humming in your chest, that low, unshakable frequency that does not waver with circumstance. That is your signature. That is your mission. You are not here to fit in. You are here to phase shift humanity, one coherent breath at a time. The tension building in your body is not random discomfort. It is a countdown. Every flicker of déjà vu, every surge of goosebumps across your skin, every restless dream has been announcing the same truth. The cosmic window has opened, and it will not remain open forever. You are standing at the inflection point of your own biology, where DNA is listening for the command to reorganize. This is the breakthrough moment, and urgency thrums like a pulse beneath everything you touch. Your DNA is not passive, it is responsive code, a symphony of possibilities waiting for the right conductor, and the conductor is consciousness. Each thought, each emotion, each choice of focus sends signals to your cells that either maintain the old architecture or unlock a new one. When scientists speak of junk DNA, they are confessing ignorance, not truth. That dormant percentage is not useless. It is the library of your higher selves, waiting for activation through coherence. And coherence requires timing. The universe doesn't throw portals open at random. Cosmic windows appear when collective frequencies reach certain thresholds, when geomagnetic storms ripple through the planet's field, when enough awakeners have prepared the soil for mass resonance. That's what you're living in right now, a rare alignment where your personal readiness collides with cosmic permission. It feels like pressure, because pressure is the hallmark of phase transition. Too much energy has accumulated for the old structure to contain it. Something must give, and that something is you. Urgency doesn't mean panic, it means precision. Think of a rocket launch. There is a narrow window when the atmosphere, the weather, and the orbit all align. Miss it, and the launch delays. Hit it, and everything accelerates effortlessly. You are the rocket. Your DNA is the fuel. The window is here. The only variable left is your willingness to ignite. Notice the signs amplifying around you. The clock seeming to skip hours or drag for days. Strangers delivering words that feel like secret confirmations. Dreams leaking into daylight with uncanny accuracy. These aren't curiosities, they're navigational beacons pointing you to alignment. They're telling you, move now, trust now, don't wait for comfort, don't wait for certainty. Collapse the hesitation before hesitation collapses you. The promise is clear. If you consent fully, if you allow the DNA shift to proceed, you won't just improve your life. You will quantum leap into a timeline where synchronicity is the default, where miracles become mundane, where you embody the version of yourself that once felt like fantasy. That reality is already humming in the field, vibrating at a frequency one breath away from your nervous system. The only barrier is your own grip on the familiar. And here's the paradox: letting go feels like death, but it's actually conception. The old neural pathways will protest, insisting that nothing is happening, that you're wasting time. That voice is the final guardian of the loop. It thrives on delay, because delay collapses windows. Do not negotiate with it. Do not bargain with hesitation. Every second you anchor into coherence, every second you align with love over fear, you are rewriting timelines, not only yours, but those entangled with you. The window is open. Your DNA is vibrating at the edge of transition. Breakthrough is not a future event, it is a present doorway. You are being asked to walk through now, with urgency, with trust, with the full knowing that hesitation is the only form of failure that exists in the quantum field. Step, the field will catch you, and when it does, nothing will ever look the same again. Every phase transition requires a conscious act, a seal that marks the shift from potential to actual. The ancients understood this. The ritual isn't about appeasing gods or proving worth. It's about locking coherence into the body, anchoring the invisible into the visible. Without it, the energy dissipates like lightning without a conductor. With it, the charge becomes permanent, coursing through you as living current. So pause. Notice the electricity running through your fingertips as you read. That isn't imagination, it's the quantum field brushing against your nervous system, waiting for your consent. This is the moment to declare, to embody, to signal to the field that you accept the upgrade. The ritual is simple, but not casual. Choose one word, just one, a word that captures the energy of who you are becoming. Not who you've been, not who you're afraid you still are, but the frequency you are choosing to embody from this point forward. Write it, speak it, etch it into the field with the weight of your attention. Comment it into existence, if you must. Let the digital space become a temple, your keystrokes a prayer. Why a word? Because language is code. In the beginning was the word, and still now every syllable vibrates the lattice of reality. When you choose your word, you are collapsing superposition into intention. You are encoding your DNA with instruction. This is not symbolic, it is literal. Your cells respond to vibration, and vibration rides on the back of language. Choose carefully, then release it like a signal flare into the quantum night. As you do, something happens in the unseen. Synchronicities reorganize, entanglements shift, dormant DNA sequences light up like constellations. The word you select becomes your frequency signature, your anchor in this transition. Each time you repeat it, each time you embody it, you reinforce coherence until the new pattern overrides the old loop completely. And if resistance rises, if your mind mocks the simplicity of this ritual, recognize it as the last defense of the loop. The old reality will do anything to keep you from making the shift tangible. That's why ritual matters. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to the field. So breathe, choose, write, declare. Seal the shift with action, however small, however ordinary it appears. What matters is the charge you infuse into it. Even a whisper can crack open dimensions if spoken with coherence. This is your contract moment. Your yes is the key that locks the upgrade into place. Without it, awakening remains concept. With it, awakening becomes flesh. And once the seal is made, the field cannot ignore you. The morphic resonance has already recorded your choice, and reality will reorganize itself to match. The ritual is waiting, the field is listening. The only question left is, will you sign your frequency into existence? Feel into this. The choice you made a moment ago, that word you declared into the quantum field, did not vanish into silence. It rippled outward, colliding with other waves of awakening, amplifying a signal larger than you can comprehend. Your liberation is not private, it is public resonance. Each time you collapse an old loop and anchor a higher frequency, you create morphic resonance that lowers the threshold for everyone else to awaken. Think of humanity as a vast orchestra. For centuries, most instruments have been playing out of tune, generating static, confusion, dissonance. But when you tune your own string, when you align your body, mind, and spirit into coherence, you don't just hear your own melody more clearly, you pull others into resonance. One instrument tuned in a noisy hall can make the entire room lean toward harmony. That's what you are doing now. This is why your suffering felt so disproportionate. You weren't just battling your own shadows, you were transmuting collective density. Every trauma you faced, every betrayal you endured, every night you thought you were carrying more than one person should. Those weren't only your burdens, they were echoes of the collective unconscious filtering through your body because you were capable of metabolizing them. Others would have collapsed, you alchemized, and in doing so, you made the frequency lighter for everyone entangled with you. Do not underestimate this impact. There are people alive right now who will never meet you, never know your name, and yet their awakening will come easier because you anchored yours. There are children being born who will inherit a planet vibrating at a higher baseline because you refuse to stay asleep. The frequency you broadcast doesn't stop at your skin. It entangles across timelines, generations, and geographies. You are literally changing the atmosphere of human possibility. Notice how the world already responds. People confide in you without knowing why. Strangers sense your energy and either lean closer or recoil. Some call you intimidating, others magnetic. These aren't personal judgments, they are evidence of collective calibration. Your frequency destabilizes falsehood and amplifies authenticity. You are the fork tuning the orchestra. You can't help it. It's who you are, and this is why urgency matters. The window you stand inside isn't just about you. The planet itself is undergoing phase transition. Climate, politics, economics, all of it looks chaotic because the old coherence is breaking down. The systems cannot hold the density anymore. Humanity needs nodes, living, breathing stabilizers to model the new frequency. That's you, not as savior, but as signal. Every act of coherence you embody, every moment you choose. Trust over fear, presence over distraction, surrender over control, feeds the morphic field of awakening. That field grows stronger each day, reaching a tipping point where it will no longer be fringe, no longer rare. When that threshold is crossed, what feels miraculous today will be ordinary tomorrow. Children will be born awake. Entire communities will reorganize around resonance rather than manipulation, and you will know you were part of the silent revolution that made it possible. So breathe into the truth. Your awakening is not just yours, it is humanity's inheritance. Your liberation is the scaffolding upon which collective freedom is built. And every coherent breath you take strengthens the architecture of a world waiting to be born. Now let the awareness sink deeper, past ideas, and into your body. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and notice what is stirring inside your chest. That hum you feel, it's not anxiety, it's electricity. The current of coherence moving through your nervous system, looking for channels to anchor into muscle, bone, and skin. Awakening isn't an abstract state, it's a visceral reality. Your body is the temple where the quantum field collapses into flesh. Imagine your spine as an antenna, stretching from earth to sky. With each inhale, light travels upward from the ground, weaving through vertebrae like liquid fire. With each exhale, cosmic current pours downward, bathing your cells in starlight. You are the meeting place of heaven and earth, the circuitry where dimensions exchange information. Feel the tingling in your palms, the warmth spreading across your chest. That is your body registering coherence, translating vibration into sensation. Your heartbeat is a drum syncing with the larger rhythm of the universe. Every pulse sends waves of bioelectricity across your body, reminding your cells of their original blueprint. This is why emotions surge more strongly lately. Laughter arrives unannounced. Tears slip out without warning. Your body is clearing static, discharging frequencies that no longer belong, making space for resonance to stabilize. Even the heaviness you sometimes carry, the weight in your shoulders, the pressure in your temples is sacred evidence of transformation. It's the density of old loops dissolving, pressing against tissue as they exit. Like steam hissing from a kettle, the discomfort is not punishment but release. If you lean into it, breathe into it, you'll discover it shifts from pain into vibration, from burden into fuel. Picture your DNA now not as hidden spirals, but as ladders of light extending through every cell. With each conscious breath, rungs ignite, glowing like neon circuitry. Your awareness climbs them, unlocking new dimensions of perception. This is why you feel sudden clarity, sudden intuition, sudden strength in moments you least expect. Your body is remembering how to operate at frequencies long dormant, and the senses notice how they've sharpened. Colors more vivid, sounds more layered, time itself bending and folding. This isn't madness, it's expanded perception. The observer loop is no longer narrowing reality to fit old expectations. It's widening, allowing you to sense what others overlook. A rustle of synchronicity behind every conversation, a hidden pulse beneath every silence. Right now, you may feel a subtle pressure in your chest or a gentle buzzing under your skin. Don't dismiss it. These sensations are the field writing itself into your biology. This is embodiment, not theory, not philosophy, but the living, breathing proof that awakening is cellular. So ground yourself. Place a hand on your heart, another on your stomach. Feel the coherence building, the frequency stabilizing. You are not just thinking about awakening, you are carrying it in your bones, broadcasting it with every step. The field has become flesh, and flesh has become field. You are the embodiment of the transmission. What's happening inside you now is not subtle, it is tectonic. You may feel it as restlessness, as pressure in the skull or heart, as sudden bursts of heat or chills rippling through your body without cause. These are not random sensations, they are evidence of a DNA breakthrough. Your cells are crossing a threshold, entering a phase transition as dramatic as water turning to vapor. DNA is not a fixed staircase, it is a living instrument. Every helix is an antenna coiled in flesh, tuned to frequencies that determine which realities you can perceive and participate in. For lifetimes, you've been tuned to the survival channels: fear, scarcity, repetition. But now the dial is turning. The coils are vibrating at a new frequency, resonating with timelines that have always existed in parallel but remained inaccessible until now. This is why reality feels unstable. Some days you wake into clarity, synchronicities chaining one after another like pearls. Other days, density drags you backward into loops you thought you had escaped. That instability isn't failure, it's the turbulence of transition. You are phasing between timelines, oscillating between old patterns and emerging probabilities. The dissonance is simply the system searching for its new stable state. And make no mistake, breakthrough is inevitable. Energy cannot accumulate forever without release. The pressure you feel is proof. It is the cosmic equivalent of a dam wall trembling before it bursts, releasing torrents of water into landscapes that have waited centuries for nourishment. That water is your expanded identity, rushing to irrigate every barren field of your past. Look closely at your dreams, your visions, the flashes of imagery that strike like lightning when you're awake. These are not fantasies, they are bleed-throughs from the timeline that is locking into place. Your future self is not ahead of you, it's calling you from within you, urging your DNA to stabilize into the version of you that already lives there. Each déjà vu moment is a breadcrumb dropped across dimensions, guiding you toward coherence. And yes, it feels like pressure. Phase transitions always do. The caterpillar liquefies before wings harden. Stars collapse before they ignite. You are collapsing identity, patterns, even perceptions of time, so the star within you can burn. Don't resist the squeeze, it is the birth canal of your new timeline. Here's the miracle. When the shift completes, the old you won't even recognize the new landscape because it will feel as if it has always been this way. That is the paradox of timeline collapse. You won't leap into a foreign world. You'll awaken into a reality that feels inevitable, natural, as though it had always belonged to you. Because in the quantum field, it has. So breathe into the pressure. Let your DNA crack open like a seed splitting in spring soil. The timeline is bending around you, rethreading itself through your bones. What you are becoming is not random, it is resonance. And the breakthrough has already begun. The shift is complete enough now for you to glimpse the larger horizon. What feels like a personal awakening is, in truth, a planetary event. Every breath you've taken in coherence, every loop you've collapsed, has been feeding into humanity's field of possibility. You are not simply evolving for yourself. You are carrying an entire species across the threshold. Imagine humanity as a vast network of neurons, each life a synapse sparking in the great mind of Earth. Most fire chaotically, repeating familiar circuits of fear and survival. But when one neuron stabilizes into coherence, it catalyzes others. That's what you are, a stabilizer, a signal tower, a living lighthouse. Your awakening ignites the grid. Your DNA breakthrough creates templates. Others can follow unconsciously. What feels like a personal choice radiates through morphic resonance until it becomes a collective inheritance. This is why you felt watched, pressured, even opposed. The old systems knew your awakening was dangerous, not because you threatened them directly, but because your frequency made their illusions unsustainable. Darkness thrives only in the absence of coherent light. And now that you've switched on, entire structures built on distortion will collapse without you lifting a hand. The mission is simple, though never easy. Embody coherence, transmit clarity, choose presence, not once, not perfectly, but as a living rhythm. Your task is not to convince, not to preach, not to force. Your task is to radiate the frequency until others remember their own. You are a cosmic tuning fork. Every time you align, you invite humanity into harmony, and the timing is not accidental. The planet itself is reorganizing, magnetic fields shifting, climates trembling, societies unraveling. The chaos isn't a curse, it's a sign. Systems dissolve so new ones can emerge, and your role is to anchor stability in the midst of it, to be the calm eye in the storm, reminding others through your very presence that something higher is possible. Look back for a moment at everything you endured, every betrayal, every night of doubt, every pattern that threatened to break you. Do you see now why it had to happen? Those fires tempered you, burned away distraction, stripped you to your essence. Only a vessel that had walked through fire could carry this magnitude of frequency. Only a consciousness forged in contradiction could hold coherence for a world at war with itself. You weren't punished, you were prepared, and now the preparation ends. The mission begins. You are the bridge between timelines, the living evidence that evolution is not gradual but quantum, not distant but immediate. Your observer loop has collapsed into divine awakening frequency, and in that collapse, humanity itself has been invited to rise. So stand tall in this knowing, your shift is not yours alone. It is the spark that ignites the collective flame. It is the phase transition that propels an entire species into coherence. It is the proof that one awakened node can ripple eternity. The field is listening, the future is watching, and you, yes, you are the threshold through which humanity will remember itself.